What if the place you feel safest is the exact place something has been waiting for you to come back to? Two locations, two entities, two families who made the same mistake. They stayed. Have you ever walked into a room and felt that the room was already full? Not full of furniture, not full of people, full of something that has been there much longer than you and learned exactly how to look like nothing at all. In 1994, a woman named Sandra Voss checked into room 11 of the Blackwood Inn in Paulding, Michigan. She checked in on a Friday. She was supposed to leave Sunday. She never checked out at all. The Blackwood Inn opened in 1923. 42 rooms, isolated, beautiful. Built on the edge of the Ottawa National Forest, deep in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The kind of place city people drove 4 hours to reach, for the silence. For 40 years, it was a perfectly normal hotel. Then, in 1963, a maintenance worker named Earl Digby was doing routine repairs in the basement. He found a room that was not on any blueprint, sealed from the outside, a brick wall where a door should have been. When they broke through, they found a chair facing the corner, and on every wall, floor to ceiling, the same sentence scratched into the plaster in handwriting so small you had to press your face against the wall to read it. It knows you are here. Management sealed the room again immediately, told nobody. But Earl Digby told his wife. His wife told her sister. And 30 years later, that story reached Sandra Voss. She was a paranormal researcher. She thought it was exactly the kind of story worth investigating. She was right, just not in the way she expected. Sandra checked into room 11 because it sat directly above the sealed basement room. She set up recording equipment, temperature sensors, audio recorders, a video camera facing the door. Friday night, nothing unusual. Saturday morning, her notes described a persistent feeling of being observed. She wrote, and I am quoting her directly, "The room feels like it is breathing, not with air, with attention." Saturday night at 1 a.m., the temperature in room 11 dropped 14 degrees in under 4 minutes. The audio recorder picked up something at 1:17 a.m., a sound beneath the floorboards. Not pipes, not the building settling. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, moving in a circle, directly beneath her bed. Then they stopped, and Sandra's audio recorder captured something that investigators who reviewed it later could not explain. A voice, coming from directly beneath the floorboards. Quiet, almost gentle, saying her name. When hotel staff checked on Sandra Sunday morning, the room was immaculate. Equipment perfectly arranged, notes stacked neatly on the desk. Bed made. Sandra was gone. Her car was still in the parking lot, her keys on the nightstand, her phone on the charger. Her shoes lined up neatly beside the bed, as if she had simply stood up and walked somewhere, barefoot. They found her 6 hours later, in the basement, standing in front of the sealed room, facing the wall. When they touched her shoulder, she turned around. She was smiling. She didn't know her own name. She didn't know what year it was. She didn't know how she had gotten there. but she kept repeating one sentence over and over. "It showed me what's underneath." The same words Paul Voss said in Poughkeepsie in 1979. 2 different states, 2 different decades, 2 different people. 1 sentence. The Blackwood Inn closed permanently in 1995. The building is still there. The basement is still sealed. And according to 3 separate locals who spoke to a regional newspaper in 2018, on certain nights, you can see a light in the basement window, moving slowly in a circle. The first story had 1 victim. Let this word sit in silence, even without a pause. This one had an entire town. What do you do when the thing that is wrong is not in the house, not in the basement, but in the water that every single person in your town has been drinking for 30 years? Silver Lake, Oregon, population 131. In the summer of 2009, every child in this town under the age of 12 stopped sleeping. That all of them, at the same time, on the same night. Silver Lake sits in the high desert of south central Oregon. Flat, dry, isolated. The nearest city is an hour and a half away. The kind of town where everyone knows not just their neighbors, but their neighbors' schedules. The town draws its water from an actual silver lake, a natural body of water the town has used since its founding in 1876. Cold, clear, clean, tested regularly, always passes. One June 14th, 2009, a woman named Ruth Calloway called the Lake County Sheriff's Office at 4 a.m. Her 6-year-old daughter was standing in the backyard, facing the lake. Had been standing there since midnight, would not respond to her name, would not turn around. The deputy True responded arrived to find it was not just Ruth Calloway's daughter. Every house on the lake side of town had a child standing in the backyard, facing the water, perfectly still. We camped still barefoot. 19 children total, ages 3 to 11, standing in a line as if they had been arranged. None of them could explain how they got there. By morning, every child was back inside. None of them remembered standing outside. They all said the same thing when asked what happened. No affect, no fear, pure uncanny. We were listening. Listening to what? To the one under the water. Parents called it a mass sleepwalking episode. Doctors agreed publicly. Privately, 3 physicians filed separate reports noting that the children's pupils, when examined that morning, were fully dilated. All 19 of them, as if they had spent the night in absolute darkness, not outside under a night sky, somewhere with no light at all. It happened again 3 nights later. Same children, same time, same line facing the water. But this time, a father named Cole Hutchins stayed outside watching. He reported that at exactly 2 a.m., something surfaced in the lake. Not an animal, not a wave. A shape. Large, dark, perfectly still just below the surface. And then, one by one, all 19 children raised their right hand, as if greeting something. Cole Hutchins ran to grab his daughter. The moment he touched her, she turned around, eyes wide open, fully awake. She looked at him and she said, "You daddy, it already knows your name."
Cole Hutchins moved his family out of Silver Lake the next morning. He was the only parent who did. The children grew up, went to school, had normal lives, or appeared to. In 2019, a journalist named Mark Fenner tracked down 7 of the original 19 children, now adults in their 20s. He asked them about that summer. 6 of them refused to speak. One, a woman who asked not to be named, agreed to a single interview. She still remembered everything. Not standing outside, not the lake. She remembered being somewhere else entirely. A dark place with no walls, no floor she could see, just depth. And in that depth, something enormous. Something that had been there since before the lake existed, since before the land existed. She said it spoke to all of them, not in words, in something older than words. And what it told them, she would not repeat. She complete only this. We didn't go to it. It came to us. Through the water. Through the drinking water. It had been coming for 30 years. We were just the first ones young enough to hear it. She know today when someone there, in a small regional magazine in October 2019. 3 weeks after publication, the magazine's website went offline. The print copies were recalled. Mark Fenner deleted all his social media the same week. He has not published anything since. Silver Lake, Oregon still exists. Population 131. The lake is still there. The water is still tested, still passes. The children who stood on that shore in 2009 are now in their 20s. Most of them still live there. None of them have children of their own. When asked why, they all give the same answer. We see, just don't think it's a good idea. Something is in the places we trust most, the places we sleep, the water we drink, the homes we call safe. And it has been there long before we arrived.
There is a valley on the outskirts of a small town that nobody talks about, not because they forgot about it, but because talking about it means remembering what happened there. The valley has been for sale for over 30 years. Dozens of buyers have come, looked at the price, looked at the land, and walked away without signing a single paper. No one ever explains why. They just leave and never come back to look again. In the middle of that valley sits a house, old, wooden. 2 stories, every window intact, every door still on its hinges. From the outside, it looks like any other abandoned house, a little worn down, a little forgotten, but otherwise normal. The kind of place you drive past and think someone should fix that up. But nobody ever does. Nobody ever will. The locals call it the Hollow, not because of any official name, but because everyone who has ever spent time near it says the same thing. It feels empty in a way that has nothing to do with furniture or people. It feels hollow at its core, like something sucked the life out of the walls themselves. Animals do not go near it. Birds do not fly over it. Even the wind seems to avoid it. On the stillest days everywhere else in town, the trees around the hollow do not move at all. Daniel first heard about the hollow on a Tuesday night. He was sitting alone in a bar, nursing his 3rd drink, and not really listening to anything around him. That had become his routine. Come in, sit down. Drink until the noise in his head got quiet enough to sleep. He had been doing it for 8 months. Ever since his wife took their daughter and left. Ever since he lost his job 3 weeks after that. Ever since he stopped seeing a reason to get up before noon. He was not looking for a ghost story that night. He was not looking for anything. but the two men at the table beside him were talking loud enough that he could not ignore them. They were talking about a bet. $10,000 to anyone who could spend 7 nights alone inside the house in the Hollow. Full 7 nights. No leaving. No contact after midnight. Just a man in that house and whatever was inside it. Daniel put down his drink and turned around. He needed that money. Not just for the practical reasons. He needed it because he needed to feel something again. He needed a reason. And if that reason came in the form of a haunted house in a valley nobody wanted, then so be it. He did not believe in ghosts. He barely believed in tomorrow. What did he have to lose? He signed the agreement the next morning, shook hands with the two men from the bar who turned out to be local businessmen who had been trying to sell the property for years. They looked at him, the way people look at someone they feel sorry for but will not say it out loud. He did not notice. Or maybe he did and did not care. He arrived at the Hollow on a Friday evening with a bag, a camera, a flashlight, and enough food for 10 days. He wanted to be prepared. He was not prepared. Night 1 was quiet, almost peaceful. He set up his camera in the main room on the ground floor and walked through every room making notes. Nothing unusual. Old furniture covered in sheets, peeling wallpaper, dust on every surface thick enough to write in. He ate his dinner, wrote in a small journal he had brought, and fell asleep on the couch he had uncovered in the living room. He slept better than he had in months. He noted that in his journal with something that almost sounded like hope. Night 2, the doors started opening, not slamming, not banging, just slowly swinging open on their own, one by one. He checked the windows for drafts, all sealed. He checked the floors for uneven surfaces, all flat. He told himself old houses settle, old hinges loosen. He closed the doors and went back to sleep. In the morning, 3 of them were open again. He had not heard a single sound. Night 3, he heard breathing outside his bedroom window. Slow, steady, like someone standing just below the glass and breathing upward. He grabbed his flashlight and looked out. Nothing. Just the dark outline of the valley and the tree line beyond it. He stayed at the window for an hour. The breathing stopped after 20 minutes. He did not sleep the rest of that night. His journal entry for day 3 was only 2 words. It knows. Night 4, he stopped answering his phone. His sister had been calling every day to check on him. His daughter had sent 3 voice notes. He listened to them. He did not reply. Not because he was busy, but because somewhere between night 3 and night 4, something shifted in him. He started to feel like the calls were coming from very far away. Like voices from another world he was slowly losing his connection to. He sat in the main room and stared at the wall for 6 hours and did not notice the time passing. Night 5. His camera caught something. He had been reviewing the footage from the previous nights, and on night 4 footage, there was a figure, standing in the corner of the room behind him. Tall, still, no features visible, just a dark shape that was there in one frame and gone in the next. He went back through every night of footage. The figure was there in all of them, always behind him, always still, always watching. He called his daughter that evening. He told her she was the best thing that ever happened to him. She asked if he was okay. He said yes. He was not okay. Night 6, he called his daughter one more time. She picked up on the first ring. He said 3 words. "I'm sorry." She asked what he meant. The line went dead. She called back 47 times that night. No answer. Night 7. Nobody heard from Daniel again. The 2 businessmen went to the Hollow on the morning of day 8. The front door was open. His bag was still there. His food untouched from the last 3 days. His camera still recording. His journal open on the floor to the last entry. They could not read it at first. The handwriting had changed completely from day 1 to day 7. By the last entry, it barely looked human. They called the police. The police searched the house in the valley for 3 days. They found nothing. No Daniel. No signs of struggle. No explanation. The camera footage from Night 7 was never released to the public. The 2 officers who watched it both resigned from the force within a week. Neither of them has spoken about what they saw. The valley is still for sale. The house is still standing. And every night at 3 a.m., the light in the upstairs bedroom turns on and off. On and off. Like someone is still in there. Still trying to signal. Still trying to reach the world they can no longer get back to. Nobody has gone to check. Nobody ever will.